this great book. It will give you power and understand people, right? So when it comes to it, today I'm going to be doing a book review on The Power of Charm by Brian Tracy. How to win anyone over in any situation. So when it comes to understanding people and getting, well, and also a great book that I highly recommend you get is Influence and How to Win Friends and Influence People. So when it comes to people, if you studied the subject enough and if you, over the course of your years of days, right, people, if you understand people, it's very interesting how you, because sometimes I try not to, sometimes I try to, and try to do. So this book is about how to, in a way, to make people to like you, right? There is a way to make people like you, like in the, because a lot of, when you interact, you know, that's why I don't like school. You know, I value education, but I don't like school. School doesn't really teach you these stuff, you know. They don't teach you how to interact with human being. Like, if you think about it, when it comes to people, you know, people say, oh, that kid is antisocial. Yeah, there's some people, because they're, you know, there's a difference between shy and don't know how to speak. When you open your mouth, right? When you ask a question, you know, this book talks about how when you ask a question, like it's your when you asking the question, you know, it's I wouldn't say power, because sometimes when you say power, it's a bad rap, right? Give, you know, a bad name, but it, because if you think about it, if you ask a person question and see this put you in a way, it's a good book. I highly recommend if you want to communicate with people, if you want to get people to like you, if you want to get people to become your friend and associate with you. This is a great book. But I want to dive deeper how this book is great. You know, I read this book 2 times. I'm going to probably read it for the rest of my life because it's that great. When it comes to people, if you recognize that people are interested in themselves. So if we take that subject and we understand that people are interested in themselves, so how can we, not make us, how can we actually get them to like us? First of all, don't try to be impressed. Don't try to impress them, right? But impressed by them. When you're interested in them, when you're interested in them, they'll be interested in you. It's easy concept, but it's hard to reply, because you have to, you know, when people read books like that, they just put on the shelf. But you actually have to engage in real activity, like real life situation, where you go up to stranger and you try and you make mistake and you want to rearrange again. So, and of course, in this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, is that when it comes to influence people, you have to, when ask for the person name or read their tag, name tag, when you understand how people work, read, because people love their name. Their name is like music, you know, like a song. And when you use that in a text, in a conversation, you know, sometimes that's why when they do, you know, email, when you're like opt in, or you know, you put in your email address into like a website, and what happens is like they'll type your name because you like your name, you pay attention more, right? That's a tactic that you use. But anyway, when it comes to your name, you like it, you like the sound of your name because it's you. And when you ask question about what they're interested in, and also try to relate to that person. That's why I like to read many subjects, so I can relate to a person. It's not always easy to do, but it's doable, right? And when it comes to influence them, this book talk about that when it comes to listening, people don't listen. People fake listen, right? Listening is about absorbing them, like moving toward, when you're, let's say the person's over there and you're over here, right? What happens is, let's say the person's talking about themselves, you actually actively engage with them, right? And then when you come to talking, you point your feet there, what that book suggests, and then you you actually lean toward that person as if you're listening. And when they listen, or when not they when you listen and they see that you're listening, they like you more because they're that you understand them, that you can relate. And then what you do is, when they done talking about themselves, you repeat what they say or kind of paraphrase. And well, they said you should pause and until you reply, and never interrupt. Sometimes I get a habit of interrupting. It's not always good, because some people don't like to be interrupted because they're in themselves. A lot of people like to be interested in themselves. And then also mirroring and matching. NLP stuff. Where where that person is doing something, not like mimic, like we all do it unconsciously, where let's say a person pick up a cup, you pick up a cup too. It's basically sending a signal to their subconscious mind that you're similar, that you're the same. So that means oh, he must be like me, right? He must be like me, so I like him more, stuff like that. And when it comes to engaging activities like these, it will, because 85% of success have to do with people, right? Your success has to do with people, and when you communicate, it's much more easier, right? And I think that's pretty good about how to communicate. And when we ask question, it focus, because if you ask question to the other person, and the person is answering, they're focusing on the answer, and it gives you power, But anyway, there is two type of questions. I remember my mentor, he talked about how there's a question where you use like a machine gun, where you're asking like randomly, and there's a specific question that you want to ask called a sniper. There is a such thing that machine gun, you asking everything, but it's a specific, like you want to know something, that's a sniper, right? So I think that, and also, since they say the first impression is the last impression, you have to, because there is the mind has a expectation. They have low and high expectation. Everybody judge subconsciously, right? So you want to mold the person perception of you first, right? So you can be more likable. And when you keep exposing yourself to that person, the more the person get to know you, they become more like bonded to you, and you become more friend. That's how friends are developed, but it's over time, right? So that's pretty much for the book today. It's a really good book. I highly recommend you get it. It's good for communicating. It's good for interacting with human beings, because most of the stuff that you do, you have to interact with human being, right? So that's what school don't teach you. So subscribe to my channel, like my video, because I will teach you some of the skills that I have developed over the years. I have also acquire or accumulate knowledge, but also use the knowledge to act on. Sometimes people read the books, but they don't actually take action right away. I think that when you read the book, you should, let's say you read this book, right? Don't put it on the shelf. Actually read it and take action and apply it in real life. So because they said if you read the book, you only remember 10%. If you listen, you probably maybe 20, 30. But if you actually actively engage, you remember about that, because you're doing all the speaking. It's about 90% you remember more, and you can use it, right? So that's pretty much it. I'll see you next time.